Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Yael. Today I'm going to talk to you about Kabbalah and about the book of Raziel. I mentioned this in my angel video and also in the sacred names video. So basically we're going to talk today about a sacred name that is connected to the quality of anger in us, how to eliminate the anger, how to get more peace. I want to apologize in advance that I haven't been doing many videos lately. I wasn't feeling very well. And this video is actually a translation of a video from a rabbi I follow in Israel. I know a lot of you are requesting more Kabbalah videos from me. And to be truthful, I just want to expose you to people who really study this for life, who have a lot of knowledge. And in this case of this video, I just want to be a channel. I want to deliver this information in an interesting way in English. So we're going to cover a lot of things in this lesson, not only about the sacred name, but also about the tree of life, how we are built as humans, and I hope you like it. So this sacred name is number 13. It's י.ז.ל, pronounced י.ז.ל. And it is excellent for anyone who feels a little stuck in self-pity, and for anyone who is attracted to this idea of doing things for other people. If you believe that when you can get out of yourself and actually help others, help humanity, give from yourself and be like the creator, this name can help a lot. It also helps balancing negative qualities in us, which we all have. So what it does, it helps us bring to the middle. In Judaism, we believe that it's not good to be in any polarity. So with techniques that will be shown in this lesson, we will learn how to go into the middle. So let's start. So in order to start understanding it, I'm going to make a small illustration to illustrate the powers of creation, which is also connected to the tree of life in Kabbalah. So as we know, there is the creator, the grand creator, and in the matter of him, we don't really understand it because we're just human and we can't really grasp his abilities. But what we can grasp is the creator created the light of eternity, and it is not limited. But we know that in order for us to understand something, the light needs to be limited, and that's how we are formed. That's how all the things in this planet are formed. And basically the creator made himself smaller for us. So there are the three upper spheres, which we know already. These are Keter, Chokhmah, and Binah. These are the highest levels of divinity. These are also spheres that we can't really grasp. Keter is the divine will. Chokhmah is the divine wisdom. It's a non-verbal awareness. Everything we can't explain with our words is associated with the wisdom of the right brain. And Binah is actually the creation of Chokhmah and Keter, and that's actually the verbal awareness, and that's the left side of the brain. So the Binah is created from Chokhmah and Keter, and the Binah has the power of birth. And the Binah gives birth to the י.ז.ל and Malchut. So the י.ז.ל is actually just the six spheres, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod. And as we know that these are actually divided into three columns, and these are three parts of ourselves. And then there is Malchut down there. So the reason that it's important for us to understand this is because we need to understand also the four elements. So in our case, Chesed is water, Gvura is fire, Tiferet is air, and Malchut is earth. But Malchut is born out of air, fire, and water. Okay, so where are we going with this? Why am I talking to you about these elements and why it's important to know what exists inside of the man? So we are aware that we are actually connected to earth, right? And the reason that we want to know that earth is combine from water, air, and fire is because we need to understand that we have these polarities in us. So God created man and he created qualities in us, and each quality we can view as a sort of sliding scale, right? So we have, let's say, two extremes. And if we just look at anger, the quality of anger, and the extreme side of anger is where somebody is so consumed by his anger, it's what we call in Kabbalah that he's possessed by the dark forces, and we name the dark forces Sitra Acha. And that means he's is almost possessed by what is close to hell, okay? So he is driven by dark entities, and that's a difficult place to be in. Now I just want to talk a little bit about the idea of where do our actions come from. So according again to Judaism, our actions from when we're born to age 12 or 13 are coming from a selfish place, from an ego place, from the desire to get, okay? And from about 12, 13 till age 20, we start building the desire to give, to influence others. And when we live too much in wanting just to get from everyone and not thinking of how we can contribute, we are in a dark place. We can become very depressed, and that's like a playground for dark forces. Now the opposite of Sitra Acha is the desire to be like the creator, right? To influence, to give. And we have what's called Narnachi de Tum'ah and Narnachi de Kedusha. So this just basically means that we as humans are, soul, spirit, animal, unit. We're just made of different aspects of ourselves. So when all these aspects combine together to a place of divinity, a place of holiness, a place of purity, then we are on the positive polarity, okay? It's kind of divided, and we want to be in a place where we are consumed by the vibration of the creator, and the way we get there is, first of all, by studying. So, of course, the rabbi would encourage us to study Torah. And I don't know if you're Jewish or not, but when you study Torah, there are vibrations that are beyond our perception that can lift us up. Basically, it's pretty simple. It's studying Torah and doing good deeds, doing mitzvot. And all of these are designed to just put more divinity in us and turn us more to the positive polarity, where we look at the other, where we want to give to the other person when we feel other people's pain, and we actually care about the world. So another thing that it is important to notice, and this is a key to understand this name, it's a key to understand this lesson, is that not everything is as it seems, okay? Sometimes we can see even spiritual teachers, spiritual leaders, that it seems like they are doing stuff from mercy, from giving to others, but we should not judge a book by its cover, and not even the actions. We really need to look closely at what stands behind the actions of people, and if it's out of a complete truth or it's against serving selfish needs. But regardless of judging other people, this is a time to be very truthful with ourselves, and this truthfulness in ourselves is a serious place where you come to a point that you realize that you just want to be happy, and you want to give from yourself, and you want to live, and you want to be filled with divinity, and you are willing to put aside your egoistic needs. Now, the thing about this planet these days, a lot of people are operating from basic thoughts like, what am I going to get out of it? So unfortunately, we live in a society where this give and take situation is happening a lot. But we need to also realize that, like with kids, when we create a kid that we only give to him, and he learns that he's like, give me more, I want, and he's not taught to give or to influence or to build anything significant for him, then we're actually creating a monster. And in the same idea is that when we always look at what we want to get out of things and what we want to get out of people, we're also creating a monster in ourselves. So the only vessel that balances the desire to receive is the desire to give and influence. And we grow it by doing deeds of chesed, of mercy, when we care about our friends, when we care about people, when we're truly happy for someone, when we're not jealous, envy, covet, steal, when we don't deal with these vibrations. So we need to come to a place that we have eternal truths, and we don't let thoughts of jealousy, of all the things that I mentioned, take over us. Also, when we understand that we are always seen. So when somebody thinks that he can do things under the table and it's not being witnessed, it's wrong. God does witness everything, and in the end, we want to come to a place that we don't only live in a material heaven, we want to live also in a thinking heaven. So it's also about controlling our thoughts too. So in the spiritual world, there are two ideas. It's equalizing the forms and opposing the forms. So equalizing the forms is when two people love each other, when two people share the same opinion, when we want to be like something else and we are in the same vibration. These two things influence each other and they equalize each other and grow in that manner. Opposing forms is that it doesn't really matter if you're close geographically or not, but let's say even you can sit next to someone, you can be close to some person and you hate him. So you are in different polarities, you're in a different vibration, and that's opposing the forms. And actually, the reason that I'm mentioning it is because what we want to do is equalizing the forms in terms of us being like the creator. So when we start thinking like the creator, we understand that we want to develop from a place of getting to a place of giving, then we start equalizing. Okay, so now coming back to negative qualities. And the reason we're studying about this is because this name helps to deal with negative qualities. So what happens when a person starts to think of sin, starts to have negative thoughts in his brain? Now, sin can be on different levels, but basically sin is whatever doesn't make you feel good or can harm others, or you know that it is self-destructive or destructive in some way. So what happens when we start thinking about something negative, something that we want to do, or just an insecure thought, or some anger we want to project towards someone? An evil spirit takes over you. So you're almost possessed by what we call, again, the sidra acha. And now they are in control of your energy and they're feeded by your energy because you kind of summon them through your thoughts. But the good news is that the same thing happens in the positive aspect of it. When a person thinks of something positive he wants to do, something that can bring joy to himself and to others, so he is now in the spirit of good spirits that help him grow higher. So these ideas, these graphs of qualities we have is actually what permits the movements from different polarities, our will to change. That is really good in the world. That's what causes transmutation. That's what causes movement. And there is a reason it was all created. Now, when we understand that we want to change a quality in us, it is not very easy. It's one of the hardest things to do. Sometimes it's easier to change the polarity of it if it's fire, meaning if it really bothers you, if you actually do an action of it, or if it's water, meaning if it's quiet, that's easier to play up and down.
but to really move it towards the center, which is the place we want our quality to be, requires a lot. So first of all, the way to do it is not to like just work on one specific thing, is to generate a general desire in you to want to help others, to want to have a mission, to like I said, influence the world. Study because you really believe that studying Torah helps. Doing good deeds because you truly believe and understand the inner value of it, because you tried it, you saw it, and you saw that it filled you with light. And these things help us move towards the middle. Now, it goes in a process. When you start shifting your vibration, the first thing you will do, or you gotta do, is start noticing and acknowledging how many times a day, let's say you're working on anger quality, how many times a day you get angry. It could be like 200 times a day. And while you're working on bettering yourself, on bettering your vibration, you might start noticing that you become angry less times. So bringing awareness, and first of all, acknowledging that all of us have things to work on. We're not perfect. So starting to count these times also helps in bringing us to a more calm and stable place. Now, coming back to the graph again, we have our qualities that are set in specific places. So in each quality, we have two polarities, right? There is one polarity, anger, and then the other one, peace. One polarity is greed, and one polarity is happiness with what we have. One can be to be stingy, and one can be to be generous. So basically, when we are born, our placements are formed. And a little note about this is that our positions are placed at the time of our conception. So when our parents conceive us, their mental state, their spiritual state influences a lot the qualities of the baby. And the qualities of the baby are fixed in him when he is conceived. So basically, we come here with a set of qualities already placed on the graph. And now it's the time for us to start moving them towards the center, towards the middle, because that is where the right balance is, the right happiness is. And that is what this class is about, to achieve balance and peace inside. And when we achieve balance and peace inside, we can actually help others achieve that too. But anyways, our placements are set, but it's better to understand it with a sort of line that crosses. So the thing that can make us lean towards fire, meaning towards anger, when we operate a quality in us that makes us want to move, makes us want to do something. So let's say if we take anger, right? When we are lighting it up with fire, it means we really want to get angry at someone, okay? This quality really, really bothers us now. And the water does not ease it, because the water is actually on a different side of it. Only when it's in the middle, it's vertical and it's balanced by fire and water. But the wind, the air, is what drives us up or down. So it's also important to understand that we want to be in the middle, because when we are too much at the right, it causes us to be like not caring and then almost depressed. So not caring about possessions, not caring maybe about other people, not caring who upsets us, who doesn't. So we really don't want to be in a place that we don't feel alive. Okay, so in Kabbalah, there is this idea of vessels. Vessels can be vessels that are created between people, vessels in ourselves, and it's based on the level of wisdom, of awareness we have. Let's say if we take in a positive polarity, a vessel of happiness can be full, depending on the size of your vessel, okay? And the more you become aware, the more you have transmutive information that helps you grow it, the more happier you become. But let's take the general example of a vessel. Let's say you have a vessel and it's full, and God in general wants you to make it bigger. Let's say if you're not already in a process of studying and learning based on your own motivation, what happens is that around this vessel is formed something negative, some sort of spirit, some sort of movement that calls you to sin, okay? So this is something outside of you that moves you to do a bad action. And the reason that it needs to happen is that when you do that bad action, you actually feel it more, and it makes you want to gain wisdom of how not to feel it. Okay, so moving towards polarities can be good because it makes us become more wise. And when you become more wise, that's when you make your vessel larger. Now, if you did this because you sinned, now all of this is under the idea of sin, and it all needs to be transmuted through studying spirituality and doing good deeds. But if you enlarged your vessel not because of sin, because of your own will, that's a different story. But now we're talking about, let's say you became very angry, you shouted at someone, the other person shouted back, you became really hurt and very sad, and the relationship is ruined, and now you are looking for an answer. And while looking for an answer, you read books, you study about yourself, you start to have conversations with yourself, you introspect, and now you're enlarging your vessel. But the whole thing happened because of being hurting someone else by saying negative things, by being angry. So the idea is to avoid that by always studying and growing no matter what, but this has a purpose. So sometimes being pulled to extreme negativity is not a bad thing. It actually serves a higher purpose. Another thing to take into consideration is that we are not deformed in any way. Just because somebody has in himself the quality of wanting to steal, wanting to get angry, wanting to lie, all of that is not a deformation. It's how we are created. And what it is called, it's actually like an opposite vessel. And what we want to do is we want to turn it to the positive polarity by equalizing the forms. We talked about in the beginning of the class this idea of being like God. Now coming back to י.ז.ל, the name, I'm going to read something and it might explain it even better. So the roots of the actions that move the foundation in every man and living being come from the sphere of Netzach. These roots move in air, fire, water, and earth. Whatever fire and earth rule, there you will find fight and rulership of evil forces. But when a person drives forces from Netzach, he can see the quiet trust in everything and can soothe the rage and hatred. And then peace can be found between man and wife, between man and his friend, and in the unity of all creation. It is based in the secret of Hear our Lord of Israel, God is one. In Hebrew, it's Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. You can use this name in any case for others who are upset, worried, and separated from one another. It is good to use it through situations when a person is separated from his friends or has anger and war he wants to be sweetened. Okay, so now we're going to do a process of how to open this name. It's not something that's written in the Bible. It's actually a combination between Theta Healing and the 72 sacred names, but it's very powerful. You can use it in multiple names, but the idea is now to just connect to this vibration and take energy from the name י.ז.ל and help it like soak in your body. So you can follow the graph, you can close your eyes, and I just will guide a short meditation on this. Imagine a light coming from the earth and entering your body. While it's entering your body, it fills you with light, and it exits through your head from your crown as a white light ball. Your awareness now is in the white light ball. And now it starts to go up in eternity, always going up with no stop. The light ball goes out of the planet and out of space and enters the seventh heavens. It goes up and up and up, and when you reach the seventh heaven, you are wrapped in a coat of unconditional love. When you're in the seventh heaven, you can also say, Creator, wrap me in vibrations of unconditional love. Wrap all my cells in my body and awaken that energy in me. When you're wrapped in these vibrations, there's also a physical change in your body that occurs. Now, after entering this vibration, we can start climbing to the first 3 ones in the tree of life, which are called י.ז.ל Rishonot of Malchut. In this case, it's a little hard to visualize, so you can follow the graph. We're just going through the tree of life now. So we passed Malchut, and now we're going through Zeir Anpin to Yesod, Hod, Netzach, Tiferet, Gvura, and Chesed. We're going through mind, soul, and spirit. Then we enter Bina. And then through Lamed Bet Chochmah, we reach Atzilut and say, God, open my lips and my mouth will tell your glory. And then let the light of the Creator wrap you and say, Creator, project the name י.ז.ל Lamed with its origin Yud-He Vav-He in me. The power of the name is unity. And now imagine the name stand in front of you with big, shiny letters. Imagine the light coming from the letters, entering your body and soaking in it. You're absorbing the light that's coming from these letters. And when you're soaked with this vibration, you will also have the power to project this energy on people that are in conflict. But also you need permission. You can't project it on anyone. You can project this vibration in negative qualities of yourself or negative situations in your life. The suggestion is to use this name for 40 days and project it specifically on a quality in you that you want to correct. So when you're thinking about this quality, you're aware of something that bothers you or that bothers others, and you're projecting this name towards this quality for 40 days, and there can be amazing results from it. So I hope you like this lesson. I hope it gave you value. I hope it wasn't too complex, and I thank you for watching. I think that the people who are attracted to this material are highly spiritual and truly want to develop, and you come here after a lot of searches, and I believe that this material is extremely helpful. You will see the results in your life, hopefully, if you use it correctly. And my wish is that we all become more balanced, more peaceful, and that we know how to deal with our negative qualities that may be too fiery for us, and know how to come to a place that we are more gentle with ourselves, with others, and more pleasant in general, and that we can bring ourselves to the world like we would want to. So again, the links for the person that actually taught this class are in the description box. Merkaz Nofach, the center of Nofach in Israel, and it's Rabbi Moshe. And yeah, thank you very much. Goodbye.